right, good evening, good people. Welcome to another 203K Tuesday. I am your host, Aaron, the house person, and this is the place you come to find out all you don't know about the 203K loan and learn how you can use that loan to help create, build, and sustain generational wealth. So, sorry, y'all. Like I said, I'm getting my whole. You would think somebody, well, it's a little different. So, a long time ago, I went to Computer Learning Center for you local folks and old enough, you probably remember. But took computer programming. Didn't do anything with it because I really didn't want to take computer programming, but I did it anyway because that's where the money was. This was before the whole Y2K scare. All that to say, that don't help me today. Like I'm still a little technologically challenged at times, and thank you for bearing with me. All right. So last week, if you didn't catch the episode, I had the Downing brothers on, and these are two guys up in the south side of Chicago who started out with the 203K loan and stayed in the house for 2 years. It was a single family and stayed in the house for 2 years, sold the house, used the $77,000 proceeds they got from the sale to help catapult their investing career. Went on to purchase, other single families, duplexes. They own a couple of apartment buildings, and now they are. I think they either start this month or early next month, but I think it's this month. They're going to be filming their own flip show. So this probably is one of the more extreme cases of how the 203K loan can really benefit someone. But it was a really great story, or is a really great story of how that just really just springboarded them to where they are now. Of course, you got to have a little bit of charisma and character in order to get your own show. But the fact that they were able to use that 77,000 and then just start their real estate investing career all from that 203K is just proof of one of the many possibilities that you can use and do when you utilize the 203K loan. Again, my green screen was lunching last week because of the setting I had it on, so I couldn't really show their book. So I want to show it today, but this is their book, the Downing Brothers, and again, they can be found on anything. Just Google the Downing Brothers, and you can find them. But I believe the website is thedowningbrothers.com. They're on IG, Facebook, all that good stuff. They got a podcast, e-course. So the guys are doing a lot. They're doing a lot, and they're doing a lot to help people understand the 203K process and using their testimony to really show you how beneficial it can be if you take this avenue. I'm a firm believer, not just because I'm here in 203K Tuesday and all that stuff. I was a believer before I got to this point, but I'm a firm believer that this is the best loan product out there. Period. Right? Now they have other loan products out there, but how many other products will allow you to buy up to a 4 unit with only 3.5% of the sales price down? I'll wait. Right. None. None. Now, no, none. But yeah, be sure to check them out, man. The Downing Brothers. Again, let me show the book. I ordered a copy. You should do the same. Support those guys because what they're doing is letting you know about the 203K loan and process. And again, showing you firsthand how that loan really changed their life. All right. So a few episodes back, I think it was episode 5. I reviewed your 203K starting lineup, right? Those are the people who you need to recruit on your team in order to help you get through the 203K process. So tonight, we're going to be going over your role players, the people who are on the bench that you're going to call them in the game. Once you finish the project, you're going to call them in the game and, use their services as needed. So let me switch over here, share my screen. me get some glasses too. I need to get my eyes checked. All right. So like I said, we're going over the role players. So again, the importance of having a good team can be the difference between overtime, your project running over time. If you got the wrong people in place, it's a chance that things won't happen on the timetable that it needs to happen in. With the 203K loan process, you have up to 6 months to complete the renovation. Yes, an extension can be granted, but you don't really want to have to go through those hoops. And again, as far as the time frame, it could be whatever time frame you set based off of your living situation, whatever other plans you have in your life. So having a good team would allow you to close and get things done on time. Having a bad team, you'll lose money. Yes, you can lose money in this process. If you did not vet your contractors properly and mid job, the contractor just, doesn't have the money to finish because they do need money to start this project. They got to have the financial capacity to take on a project because they get their money back in the form of the draws as the project goes on. They may get the initial draw for materials, but after that, they got to pay their guys until they get to the certain point where the consultant comes out, takes a look at it, checks off on everything, says it's great, and go ahead and okays the printing of the next check, that draw check. So having the wrong people on your team, even the agent, even uh, the lender, but having the wrong people on your team, you can end up losing money. And of course, having the right people on your team put you in a position to end up making money. Having the wrong people on your team can cause you stress. Uh, Buying a home in general, there's some stressful things that can come along with that process. And the 203K, it will, kind of increase because there are a few more steps involved than just buying a turnkey property. You got to deal again with the contract. You got to deal with the consultant. You got to deal with the timetable. And just the contractors people. It's just various extra steps that can potentially cause more stress. And if you got a bad team, yeah, yeah. But with that good team, it's a less stressful situation. So just to review the starting lineup again, your point guard is your realtor, that person who is facilitating everything, making sure all the other team members are doing what they need to do when they need to do it. The shooting guard is your lender, that person who's going to score you the bag. They're going to get you the money that you need to get the whole job done. The small forward is your consultant. They're the swing man, that person that's in between the lender and the contractor, holding the contractor's feet to the fire, making sure they do what they need to do when they need to do it. The consultant's job is to make sure that you are protected. All right. The contractor, that power forward, and we're talking about the old school contractor, that old school, power forward, the one that's in the paint, the one that's on the block, right? Not the stretch fours of today. Nothing wrong with them, no disrespect, right? But we're talking about that one that's doing that heavy lifting. They're down there swinging the hammers, hitting the nails, driving the screws in, doing all that heavy lifting, getting the work done for you. And then, of course, the center is your title company, the people who are protecting your interest. They're protecting that paint, making sure that the seller can legally sell you the property, making sure that that chain of title is in order and there's no chinks in the chain. Somebody can come back later. Now, things do happen. Things sometimes aren't caught. May not be that particular title company. Could have been two title companies before. But they're also going to help you or give you options to protect you in case that happens. So again, the review, that is your starting lineup. But today, I don't have the music. Y'all know the music. Your role players, the guys and gals that are coming off of the bench to help you out once you already got your job completed. Now, here's the thing to keep in mind. Some of these people you may never need. Some of these positions you may be able to fill yourself. But also remember, with the 203K loan or FHA loan in general, you can buy a 1, a 2, a 3, or a 4, up to 4 units. So let's say, and for those of who may or may not have heard, this is what they consider a house hack, where you're putting down 3.5%, but you're maximizing that 3.5% and buying 4 units, right? Buying the maximum amount of units you can get with that loan and that low down payment. If you do that with conventional, you're putting 10 to 20, depending on what your credit look like, depending on what the lender's talking about, because right now in COVID, lenders are kind of you know, they a little funny right now. So they want more skin in the game, as they call it in the investment world. But this is a house hack where you can buy up to 4 units. And in the event that you choose to buy up to 4 units, which you should, in my opinion, because 3.5% down. So let's do the math real quick. Let's say you find a 4 unit and you decide, you know what, I'm gonna get that 4 unit. And the lender says, okay, 20% down. And that 4 unit, for math's sake, costs you $200,000. Now, you know that's not in the DC metropolitan area, but I'm just doing it for math's sake. $200,000, 20% down, it's going to be $40,000 out of your pocket. In that same scenario, you are using the 203K or using FHA's financing, 4 unit, 200,000, 3.5% down. That 40,000 has just reduced itself to 7,000. Why not? Why would you want to spend more? I don't know. But that's your business. What the tablets say. That's my business, right? If you want to spend more, go right ahead and spend more. But I'm gonna say don't do it. Go ahead and spend less because you're getting the same property. Cash flow might be a little different as far as your monthly cash flow, but you know, I mean, I'd rather keep the cash in your pocket for when something happens or to pay your role players, right? Than to spend that money now and then like scrambling for money when something happens, because something is going to happen. If you've ever rented a place, you know from living something happens, right? And if you rent it, meaning you're the tenant, and if you ever rent it to someone as a landlord, you know something's going to happen. I mean, it is what it is. It's the nature of living. I mean, it is what it is. So just keep that money in your pocket if you can. I would. That's my suggestion. So let's go over these role players. And now, at point guard. Okay, just playing. Your property manager, just like your point guard is your floor coach, your property manager is your floor general, right? Just like your realtor. They're going to be that facilitator, right? They're going to be the person that is talking to all the other people who may be involved with the process, as far as people who are your handyman, all the people when it. So here's what they're going to do. When the phone rings, it's going to ring to your property manager, not to you, because the toilet is broke. When the dishwasher breaks, it's going to ring to your property manager, not to you, right? And they're going to call the person who needs to come out and handle that situation. That's what their job is. They're also going to screen your tenants, and they're going to place them in the units for you. And in the event that your tenant decides not to pay, they're going to process the paperwork needed to go ahead and go to court, landlord-tenant court, and hopefully get you your money, and or file for an eviction so you can get repossession of the property and start it over. So this is an important person to have on your team. Now, you can be your own property manager. Oftentimes with individual landlords, this is the point or the position that kind of burns them out and makes them say, you know what, I don't want to rent no more houses, I'm done, right? Because it can be stressful. You dealing with your own life situations, you don't necessarily want to have more situations dealing with the property, right? So if you have that property manager in place, they can be your shield. They can be that wall between you and your tenant and handle those problems for you, let you know, hey, this is what's going on. Don't worry, we're taking care of it, right? Now, property managers, the fee is negotiable. It's anywhere from 5 to 10%, depending on how many units you have with that person, depending on their experience, and really just depending on what you negotiate. They're going to, again, be working for you, and it's 5 to 10% of the monthly rent. So every month, they're getting a little piece of what the rent is. So I would say, for math's sake, just calculate 10% of the monthly rent. So if your rent is $1,700, property manager at 10% is $170. That's what they're getting every month to do their job, to keep you away from the tenant, to keep you from getting that phone call at 2 in the morning saying, hey, the toilet's broke, hey, X, Y, and Z, right? So again, it is, their fee is negotiable. Just work that out and go from there. But if you don't want to deal with those calls, go ahead and get you a property manager on your team. All right. Next up is your accountant, your shooter. Just like your shooting guard is typically your best shooter, your accountant is going to be keeping score of your finances. Now, again, this is a role that you can play yourself. You can be somebody that takes care of your own books. Perfectly okay. Now, when you got those 4 units, if you are living in one and renting out the other 3, you may want to have somebody else in charge of this information. So when it comes tax time, it's a streamlined situation. You don't have to try to scramble, grab this, that, and the other, right? They're going to help you reduce your tax liability because they know tax code, and more than likely you don't. Their information, their knowledge is extremely valuable in helping you save money. And then, like I said, they're going to get you ready for your Uncle Sam, because we know good Uncle Sam. That's the, you might as well say both hands. Like Uncle Sam always got his hand out. Seemed like every time you turn around, your uncle was in your pocket. Having that accounting in place is going to help you keep Uncle Sam out your pocket. They're going to tell you where you can deduct this, deduct that, and of course, like I said, they keeping your finances, so they know exactly what needs to happen. They see the cash flow coming in, they see what your life situation is like, and they know the law. They know they know the law to be able to write off the things that need to be written off versus you trying to do it yourself. Oh, I got it. I'm gonna do it myself, right? But you can do it yourself. Again, this is a role you can fulfill for yourself. If it's not your strength, I would say maybe hire someone to do it for you, maybe even learn from them along the way. And then once you feel more confident, go ahead and take over that role. Next up is your insurance agent, that notable swing man. And just like your small forward is your most versatile player, your insurance agent is somebody who is extremely versatile in helping to cover you, right? So you have renter's insurance. That is the insurance policy that will cover your tenant's belongings. And they may or may not have their own point of contact, but if you have someone that you can recommend to them, say, hey, call this person and get yourself a renter's insurance policy. That way, you know, if anything was to happen in the unit, their stuff is covered, and they're not looking at you saying, hey, that sprinkler that burst and ruined all my stuff. Yeah, I'm gonna need you to go ahead and pay for all this, right? Because some things won't be covered under your home insurance policy. So say you just have a single family home and you decided, you know what, I'm about to move up, move down, move out of town, and you rent your house. Well, if something was to happen and you call your homeowner's insurance policy, they may tell you, hey, look, we'll cover the repair, we'll cover all the damages to the house, but we're not covering anything else, right? So your tenant having that policy in place helps them. In addition to that, Your insurance agent can get you landlord insurance because again, some of those things will not be covered by your homeowner's insurance policy. So having landlord insurance again keeps you covered. Make sure that you don't have to be stressing over things. And I like to say it's typically better to have and not need than to need and not have, right? Because if you got to come out of pocket for some damages that happen, I don't know if you're able to just pull together 10, 15, 20, $30,000, but having that insurance policy in place, you just pay your deductible and they take care of the rest. So they're also going to get you, if you ask them for it, rent guarantee insurance. Now, if you haven't written anything else down today, take a note of this. This insurance covers your rent if the tenant does not pay. I like to pause so things can kind of soak into that bread pudding, right? So I say it again. This insurance covers your rent if the tenant does not pay. If you got to evict the tenant, right? They broke the lease and you are trying to get the property turned over for the next tenant, that rent guarantee insurance will take care of that gap up until the point of when the tenant should have left, when the lease should have died. And that will allow you to not stress so much over turning that property and getting the next tenant in there. Now, here's the good news. You can actually get your tenant to pay that. That can be written in the lease that they got to pay the rent guarantee insurance. Typically, it's going to be the same price as the rent, right? So maybe in lieu of the security deposit, they pay that rent guarantee insurance, right? Or maybe it's a tenant that's a little more high risk, but it's like, okay, look, I want to take a chance on you because that's just the type of person I am. However, in order for me to do that, you're going to have to get this rent guarantee insurance. You're going to have to pay for that. So that way I know if something was to go down, I'm still covered. Fair enough? But having that insurance agent on your team, they can direct you with all three of those and any other insurance that you may need. Your power forward, that handyman, that physical player. Your power forward is your hard worker. That should say handyman right there. But your handyman is going to be the jack of all trades, right? What they say, jack of all trades, master of none. That's going to be the person that is good at what they do and can do a lot of different things. They can do a little electrical work. I can put the ceiling fan in. I can fix the plumbing. I can paint. I can go patch this hole. You know what I mean? I can lay some floors down. That handyman is your universal tool. That screwdriver that got all the little interchangeable bits on there, right? You want to have that person on your team because they're less expensive than a licensed trade pro, right? You call yourself a plumber for that leaky toilet, and it may cost you $1.50, $1.25. You call your handyman, they may say, man, throw me $50, I got you, no worries. Do the same job, but cost you a little less. And no disrespect to my tradespeople because they worked hard to get their license. They study things of that nature. They pay certain fees, carry certain insurances, all that good stuff. So you got to pay for their time. You got to pay for their expertise, right? But your handyman didn't necessarily go that route. Or maybe even they did, but because they don't necessarily operate in that capacity, they don't charge as much. But typically, your handyman is going to be less expensive than calling that plumber, calling that electrician out there to do the work. And they're typically easier to get a hold of. It might be a situation that happens at a weird time of night, and you got agreement. They're like, look, you need something, call me, right? If you got an issue at 2 a.m. and you got to call a plumber, you best believe they're going to charge you 2 a.m. prices. If they had to wake up out of their bed, you best believe they're going to charge you wake up out of their bed prices. If you got that handyman on your team, somebody who's a little more flexible and ready to bail you out in a jiff, save some money. That's what you want. You want to save some money. Now, of course, you still want somebody who does good work, but you're trying to save money. You're trying to keep money in your pocket and still get the job done. So you got to have your handyman. And coming in at center, the protector. I ain't changed none of these, huh? That's just terrible. It's your home warranty. Just like the Center Defends the Remedy Paint, the home warranty company is going to cover your mechanical systems, your PHE, plumbing, heating, and electrical systems. And they're also going to cover your HVAC. Home warranties are typically good for a year. You pay for it either that one lump sum. Typically, the very first time you get a home warranty, you got to pay that lump sum, and it's good for the year. Then after that, they'll allow you to go on a monthly, month-to-month fee from there. What you can do, you get a brand new tenant, and when that tenant takes tenancy, that's when you go ahead and get your home warranty in place. And again, like I said, covering your plumbing, heating, and electrical systems. Uh, and you pay that deductible. They come out, fix whatever's wrong. And again, depending on the circumstances, you can actually write the cost of that deductible into your lease. So then your tenant is paying that deductible for them to come out. All right. Some things, you do need to get covered and take care of yourself, but certain things, like if it's user error, like a tenant just, broke the garbage disposal, things of that nature, then yeah, we're going to need you to go ahead and take care of that deductible, and they'll be right out. Also covers your appliances, stove, microwave, typically your washer and dryer, sometimes your jetted tubs, right? It's going to cover those things, so if they break, they'll come out and fix it. And if they can't fix it, they may replace those items. And it may replace it just for the price of the deductible, or it'll be a deeply, deeply discounted price compared to you going and calling said company to come out and fix it or replace it yourself. Listen, again, this is a better to have and not need than need and not have situation as well, because I've had plenty of clients who had the home warranty, and for instance, when you buy a house, depending on what season you're in, will dictate what type of the system or what side of the system the home inspector will inspect. So in the wintertime, the home inspector is going to inspect the heating system. In the summertime, the home inspector is going to inspect the air conditioning system. Now, if you had the air checked out in the summer, everything is good when you bought it. But now, 6 months later, it's time, or 3 months later, it's time to flip over to the heat, and then boom, the heat breaks. Not the home inspector's fault, because again, they're checking whatever is valid during that time. But if you don't have a home warranty in place and you need a new system, because suppose you have gas heat, which is down here, your coil's down here, and then your HVAC is on top. Those are actually two different systems. So your air might break, your heat works fine. Air's broke, heat works fine, or vice versa. Home warranty will come out, take a look at your system, get it squared away for you. But if they can't, they'll go ahead and replace it. Now, if you had to go to the store and replace that yourself, you're going to pay more, much more. So again, trying to save you some money. Pay that $350, $400, $500. Well, I'm sorry. Let me take $350 back, because they don't cost that anymore. Let's start at $450. So pay that one time $450 right now up front for that peace of mind. Peace of mind. Like, peace of mind is priceless. Extremely priceless. Can't put a price on it because it's priceless, right? Q&A, no Q&A. So yeah, that is your role player. That's your bench. Those are the people who you need to put in the game uh, when you need them. Like those are the ones you need to have on your team if you're not going to fill those positions. Let me just go back real quick. Go back. What we're about to do is take it back. Take it back now, y'all. One hop this time. So your role players, again, property manager, accountant, insurance agent, handyman, and home warranty, right? Your home warranty company. Um, and again, these are all just like peace of mind positions, right? These are better to have and not need positions because you can be your own property manager, but do you want your landlord, or excuse me, your tenant calling you 2 in the morning about an issue? Do you want the tenant that maybe a tenant that calls about every little thing, calling you about every little thing, right? If you can afford it, get your property manager in place. Then you don't have to worry about that. Again, it's a negotiable fee, typically somewhere between 5 and 10% of the monthly rent will go to take care of them and make sure that that wall is between you and your tenant so you don't have to worry about getting those phone calls. But again, you can be your own property manager. You can be your own accountant. You can take care of your own books. But do you know the tax law? Do you know all the deductions that you are eligible for having, that 4 unit where 3 of those units are sending money to your bank account every month, right? Do you know those things, the depreciation laws and things of that nature that can save you money and keep your Uncle Sam out your pocket? Do you? If not, then you may need to have that position filled. Insurance agent. Now, if you're not writing your own policies, you definitely want to have this field. And like I said, the insurance agent will get you to the renter's insurance, will get you to the landlord insurance, and it will get you to that rent guarantee insurance, meaning they guarantee your rent's going to get paid in the event that your tenant can't. That handyman, maybe you can do that yourself as well. I'm pretty handy. I can install lights. I can put up a ceiling fan. What you talking about? I can change out the outlet switches and put in new plumbing. But do you have the time to do that when a tenant calls you? Can you do it right now? Or are you at work? Or are you on vacation? Or are you, on a field trip with your children? When the tenant calls, they looking for immediate action, immediate response. Are you able to do that yourself? Or should you have a handyman in position to help you out with that? That you can say, hey, I need you over there like right away. Can you do it? Okay, great. Right. And then lastly, that home warranty company. Again, better to have and not need. That warm and fuzzy feeling just knowing that all I got to do is pay this deductible and my plumbing is going to be taken care of. Pay that deductible, my heating and electric, my heating and air is going to be taken care of. Pay that deductible, my electric system is going to be taken care of. My sump pump, my washer and dryer, my stove, the microwave, right? Peace of mind. Extremely priceless. Extremely priceless. I'm talking extremely priceless. So that's all I got for y'all tonight, man. Like I said, we talked about the starting five, your starting lineup. Those are your role players, the folks who you will engage and have on your team after the completion of your project. And if you guys have any questions about any of those people, how to find them, how to vet them, right? What to look for, all that good stuff. I'm your guy. But nah, seriously, man, just give me a call. I'm here to help. Anything 203K related, I am here to help. Also, be on the lookout. Just posted the other day. We got a Renovate-to-Live coming up in Windsor Mill. Had to think about this is by I say Baltimore County. I couldn't think of it, but in Windsor Mill, Maryland, got a Renovate-to-Live. And just to remind you what that is, Renovate-to-Live is a part of the 203K Done Your Way program, where a homeowner says, you know what, I love my house, but I could love it a little more if we got that fixed and that fixed, and that fixed and that fixed. I mean, fix that too. I mean, can we get that? Oh, we can. Oh yeah, we'll fix that too, right? They got some things about their house that they want to get repaired and don't want to reach in their right or left pocket to try to pay for it out of pocket, right? They're going to use the equity in their home to fix their home, which in turn will put more equity into their home. It's a beautiful situation. Wonderful. So this particular client, she got a few things in the basement she wants to get repaired. We're going to paint the entire basement. We're going to do floors in, I think, just her son's room, new flooring in there, new windows throughout the house. She talked about a deck. We're still discussing that part, but maybe not a deck. We're gonna do fence around. Let's see, upstairs, refinishing the hardwood floors. So we're gonna stain those. Um, the kitchen is pretty much done, but there's some things that need to be touched up. So we're gonna touch up the kitchen. Going to change. There's an area where it's a bar area. That bar top, we're going to change that countertop to match the granite that's already in the kitchen. A couple of ceiling fans installed, a couple of closet doors, new master bath, and I think that's it for her. Yeah, so be on the lookout for that. We'll be documenting that process so you guys can see it as it goes along, and then of course see the before and after once it's all said and done. So we're excited about that. So if you are someone who says, you know what, hey, that's me. Like I need some things done around my house, right? Give me a call. We have the Renovate to Live portion of the 203K Done Your Way program. And for someone who's saying, look, that sounds cool, but I'm really not trying to stay in my house. Like, I really want to move. Like, I want to move up, move down, move out of town, whatever direction you're trying to do or go. We have the Renovate-to-Sell portion as well. And that's when we come in and look at everything that needs to be done in order to make your home turnkey, meaning they turn that key and move in, aka move in ready, right? Making your home a home that stands up to those other homes at the top of the market and get you top market price. So we're going to come in, assess what needs to be done, agree on said items, and here's the beautiful part: it doesn't cost you any money out of pocket up front, right? When you sell your home, because you have to sell, but when you sell your home, that's when you'll go ahead and pay. But here's the value in that. So let's say you got a house, and again, I like using 200,000 because it's just easy math, right? But let's say the houses in your neighborhood are selling for 250, and those are move-in ready turnkey properties. Your house is not. And looking at the comps, the comparable sales, the homes that have sold in your neighborhood in the last 3 months, apples to apples, 3 bedrooms to 3 bedrooms, 2 baths to 2 baths, basement to basement, that type of stuff, right? The homes that are like yours sold for 250, but because of the condition of your home, it's looking like you might be able to squeak out 190, right? Because people will come in and be like, oh, I can't do nothing but that. Like, right? You might be able to get 190. And in that particular situation, people are going to definitely try to offer you less because they're going to say, hey, look, I mean, you need all this work done. Like, you need all this work. And you're going to get investors coming in there saying, hey, we'll buy it from you cash money right now, close right now, 175. they're going they're going to offer you lower. Well, okay, this market's a little different. Um, People are actually paying a lot more than they typically would. But in general, when your property needs work, you're going to get less for your property than a property that is completely ready to go, right? So in this scenario, you call us, we come and take a look, and we say, okay, well, looking around, looks like maybe put 20 into it, you'll be good to go. So, okay, 20. I was going to do 190. That 20, okay, gets me to 250. That's great. So, uh, I was going to probably get 190, but just adding the extra 20 gets me 40, additional 1,000 in this scenario. So it's a great program. So we got the Renovate-to-Sell again. We got the Renovate-to-Live. And then, of course, just the traditional 2 or 3K done your way program is for our buyers. So any questions, want to get started, give me a call, 844 yes 203K. 844 yes 203K. Also, be on the lookout. We got the YouTube channel up, so these past episodes, once they're down and done, they'll be shifted over to YouTube. And all of the projects that we're working on, we'll have those over there as well. So you guys will just have a one-stop shop to go to and see all of the previous episodes, and then all of the projects that we will be working on this year, because the list is growing, and hopefully we'll see you on there as well. So that's all I got for y'all. See you next 203K Tuesday. Have a good one. Be sure to like, subscribe, share, and ring that bell. Thanks for watching.